A man breaks into a home while a pregnant woman hides inside. An armed neighbor shows up at someone's front door, and a woman tries to set a family's home on fire while they're fast asleep. These are creepy encounters caught on camera that left people terrified. So this first case has been all over the news recently, and it is absolutely insane. So on April 7th in Fairfield, California, a homeowner received a notification from his Ring doorbell camera. He saw a man standing at the front door, initially appearing calm and just asking if everything was okay. The man, later identified as Jason Nichols, got aggressive pretty quick though. He started demanding to know where the guy's daughter was and threatened to break the door down. Inside the house, the homeowner's pregnant wife and young child were hiding, terrified as Nichols' behavior just escalated. Nichols eventually did break through the sliding glass door at the back of the house and entered, continuing to shout as he searched for someone, like opening doors and stuff. The homeowner rushed back home and he had a shovel, and then he confronted Nichols. There was a struggle, both men ended up injured. Police arrived and arrested Nichols outside the home. The entire incident from start to finish was captured on the doorbell camera. Nichols was arrested and is now facing charges, but at this point we don't have a lot of information to go off of aside from the video. We don't know if Nichols targeted this family specifically or if this was completely random. Either way, it's a very disturbing case. Props to this guy for catching on as quickly as he did. A man was live streaming when a woman and a man walked by. The woman suddenly pointed at the live streamer and said he was her friend she was there to meet.
My friend.
Hi. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Good to see you. It's alright. Have a good night, man. Hi. See you.
Of course, the streamer had no idea who this woman was, but he caught on that she was in distress and he started playing along, no questions asked. It was just after midnight when this woman in Pennsylvania got woken up by a notification on her phone. She just installed a brand new doorbell camera and now it was going off because someone was right outside. She checked it, still in bed, and immediately saw her neighbor standing at the door. He had a long blade in his hand. She did not even get out of bed, she just called the police. The guy was pacing around trying to mess with the camera. He covered it at one point, then he started sizing up the door, holding up his weapon, seemingly trying to figure out how to break in. And then it got worse. He started kicking the door over and over, hard enough to leave visible damage. What's really unsettling is she actually knew who this guy was. Again, he was her neighbor. He lived in the same apartment complex. She hadn't had direct issues with him before though, but she said there had been months of loud disturbances coming from his place, enough to make her uneasy. That's why she bought the camera in the first place. And the timing could not have been better. She installed the thing just 3 hours before this happened. Police arrived and arrested the guy, and now she has the entire incident captured on camera. Poltergeists have always had a bit of a reputation. Most ghost stories are just about something standing there, maybe showing up in a photo or making a room feel weirdly cold. Creepy, sure, but you don't really do anything. A poltergeist is different. That's the kind of thing people claim can actually move stuff, slam doors, and throw things around. This video is uploaded to the YouTube channel Rocky Mills. He's walking through a house he's renovating because he thinks someone might be squatting inside. You can tell he's already on edge, calling out as he checks every room. The place seems pretty quiet until, out of nowhere, the basement door just slams shut on its own.
Hello? Who is it?
No hesitation, he walks over and pulls it open right away. Again, at this point, he still thinks there's a squatter, so he's expecting to catch someone, but there's nobody there. All he sees are the empty stairs leading to the dark basement below, and then things take another turn. The guy suddenly hears something, drops his phone mid-recording, and takes off. And with the camera still rolling on the floor, we watch as it starts to move. Someone or something is nudging at it. This happened on Wednesday, January 28th, 2026 in Merritt Island, Florida. Early that morning, this guy, Charles Reed Knight, started going around the neighborhood carrying a pitchfork and an axe. He was trying doors, breaking stuff, and just acting completely out of control. The clip most people saw came from a doorbell camera. He walked up onto one porch and started smashing at the camera. The homeowner, Laura Bowles, understandably was terrified, but that was only one moment out of the whole incident, because this went on for a while. He kept moving from house to house, messing with anything he could get his hands on. Bowles said he broke their water system. He was jumping up and down on their rocking chairs. Then he came over and he would break the pillars on mine. He was throwing things and was just very erratic. At one point, someone actually tried to deal with him and it turned into a full-on attack. A neighbor named Loch Vo said he was approaching me and slamming me. I was raising my arm real quick, running away from him, and he started chasing me up and down, back and forth for 3 to 4 minutes until he ran out of breath. Police eventually showed up and arrested him. He got hit with a bunch of charges, including armed burglary, battery, criminal mischief, and resisting officers with violence. When he went in front of a judge the next day, they said booze might have been involved. It came out he already had 4 DUIs. His bond was set at $26,000, and he had to wear one of those ankle monitors that checks for intoxication every 30 minutes. Plus, he's not allowed to go anywhere near any of the people involved. This happened in Ashford in the UK. A 49-year-old former nurse named Magdalene Wangeki was caught on a doorbell camera trying to start a fire at her neighbor's front door while the family was inside the house. According to what came out in court, there had already been issues between her and the neighbor before this. We watch though as she walks up to the door with matches and lights them, then throws them toward the entrance. Luckily, the fire didn't catch, mainly because the ground and the doormat were wet from earlier rain, but the prosecutor said this was a, quote, serious risk of injury and that it could have caused major damage if it had spread. You know what? I don't know. I wouldn't have guessed. Fire causes damage? Anyway, she later admitted to attempted arson. His sentence was 4 months in prison, but it was suspended for 18 months. She was also given a 5-year restraining order, so she can't have contact with the neighbor or go near the property. This man could have easily died. A man named Greg Harris was driving his ATV through the forest, going at a pretty good clip when he ran into something. He goes crashing to the ground, but luckily he survived. He drove right into a metal wire that had been stretched between 2 trees on the trail, a booby trap. If the wire hadn't broken, it could have easily killed him. The question is, who's the disturbed person that rigged that thing up and why? The original uploader of this video deleted his post, but the video's been shared around on other pages since. A man was working in an urgent care that had just been shut down in Texas. As he was walking through the place, which was supposedly totally empty, strange things started happening, starting with this. Listen closely.
Another bathroom.
Who else heard a voice whisper, "I see you"? The uploader didn't, at least not at the time. If he had, he'd have probably been out the door right then and there, but instead he continues making his rounds and things get worse. He hears very clear, loud footsteps rushing down the stairs, only there's nobody there. He's obviously unsettled at this point, but continues with the tour, only for this to happen.
Creepy. Okay, now I'm getting the f*** out of here.
This clip was pulled from a stream from Lacey Live, a Twitch streamer with a pretty sizable following from what I can tell. These guys were hanging out at a restaurant patio when suddenly this dude sidles up to their table with his eyes absolutely bulging out of his head. And he clearly startles them because Lacey immediately jumps to his feet fully on guard. They're confused at first, kind of half smiling, wondering what the hell is going on, but the dude just stands there glaring them down, and notice he never blinks. They try and tell the guy to walk away, but he doesn't budge. Eventually a server comes out, and after some pressing, the guy finally makes his way back onto the street. But what was his deal? Who was he? Nobody knows. My guess is he was either a troll or he was on something, but you never know. It could be worse. So we've had encounters with potential ghosts, arsonists, home intruders, and stalkers. So let's finish off with an animal. This video comes from a security camera in Gujarat, India. This guy had just finished work and was on his way home when, hands behind his back, completely relaxed, his mood was about to change, because at the same time a lion was coming from the opposite direction. neither of them saw each other until they rounded the same corner at the exact same moment. As soon as they see each other, their flight or flight kicks in. For a human being up against a lion, fight isn't really an option, so the guy just turns around and runs. Thankfully, the lion did the exact same thing in the opposite direction. Had the lion been a little bolder that night though, this could have ended very badly. And that has been the video for today. I've been your host, James. I'll catch you, yes, you specifically, next time.